To every one of our candidates, welcome to this year's competition. It's great that you have decided to take part this year. And my name is Marieta Human. I'm one of the judges, and I represent one of the ingredient sponsors, SA Pork. So in this talk, I'm going to share with you what the judges will be expecting of you in this year's competition, and a little bit about the product SA Pork later. So your journey to practice for the competition starts here. The final cook-off is actually closer than what you can imagine. So what you do between today and the final cook-off day is really going to determine your results at the end of the process. The most important thing to decide for yourself is what will taking part in this competition, this experience that you're about to enter, what will this mean to you? What will this do to the journey going forward in your career that you are planning? When will you be writing down your plan of action for practicing for the final cook-off? Because without a written plan, you're probably going to fumble and bumble along until it's almost heading to crisis time. What mood or moods will you choose to put yourself in for this practice phase that lies ahead of you? And what mood will you set yourself up for the final cook-off day? The things that I found work best for our candidates in the past was a sense of optimism, a calmness, being creative, having discipline, bounce back if something goes wrong, because it's that resilience that's going to help you through when things go wrong in the kitchen. Also, aim for a laser focus, because all of that together will put you in a state of genius, of being your absolute best on that important day. Some competition tips for you from the judges. Do not over-engineer your dish. The judges are really looking for elegance and mastery, which is found in simplicity. For example, for each of your dishes, choose one flavor profile and stick with that. Is there anything that you can take away and not diminish the hero elements on your plate? So is this the most elegant and the simple way of presenting your dish? Checking also, have you seasoned all the elements on the plate? Seldom in your future will you have such an intense enthusiasm and support from so many people rooting for you in this competition. There's your family, friends, they're your lecturers, everybody surrounding you will be rooting for you to put forward your best on the day of the competition. But it's not about them. It's about you showing yourself what that inner champion in you can do. The most important tip for you is to read and reread the operations document and all the communication that you receive from Chania, because everything that you need to know for the day of the competition, all the prep, what you can bring, what you can do, it is all in the documents that Chania have sent you and will be sending you. Your main course this year will have pork, loin, and bacon. So what you're going to be doing with that loin and the bacon is really up to you. Just a bit of background for you. Globally, pork is the world population's #1 choice in meat. In South Africa, our local pork is top class and it's safe. And it's also produced to world-class biosecurity standards, which means with genetics, scientific feeding programs, and animal welfare are the highest priorities in our industry in South Africa. Furthermore, pork is also the most economical and versatile of all types of meat. So this year, you are given the cut of loin of pork because it's a very lean cut and we want to see what you can do with it. This year, your main course must have loin of pork and bacon combined in your main course dish. Any form of the loin can be used. It can be whole. You can use slices. It can be cut into steaks. Also, you can use it with bone in or without bones. The choice is really yours. And of course, a loin comes with skin on it. So crackling on top of your loin or on your loin steaks is going to be optional. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to serve it with or without crackling. And then the component of bacon, which need to be used in the dish, can be any type of bacon. It can be shoulder bacon, back bacon, or streaky bacon. That choice is also yours. Some basic tips for cooking the loin is that loin of pork is very lean. It's also very delicate, and it requires careful management of the cooking temperature and the total cooking time. So the main thing to remember is to guard against overcooking it. So because loin is so lean and it can sometimes taste dry if you do not serve enough sauce with it, we are asking you to serve a sauce or a jus with your pork dish this year. Pre-made basic stock for your sauce can be brought in, and this needs to be an unreduced, unthickened, and unfinished stock. In other words, a clear stock, and you can finish it during the cook-off. You can use fresh or smoked pork bones to make stock, to make a base stock for what you're going to be doing with your sauce on the day. And these bones do not need only come from the loin of pork. You are welcome to use smoked pork bones for your clear stock that can be brought into the kitchen on the day of the cook-off. Now, the sauce or the jus that you will serve with your pork loin can be drizzled on. And I know that it's a favorite technique of our candidate chefs to put drops of the jus on the plate to make it really look beautiful and pretty. And that's understandable. But we ask you to serve a small jug of sauce with your dish so that the judges can pour it on for themselves. We're also asking you to supply your sauce recipe with your entry. So once again, the tip that's most important is do season your ingredients well before cooking them or during the cooking process, because unseasoned food is just as bland as eating sawdust, and that is not what the judges want. The judges want a really robust flavor profile. So in conclusion, I just want to emphasize the tip again: do not overcomplicate your flavor profiles. This goes for both your starter, your main, and your dessert dish. Choose one flavor profile per dish and then build all the components on the plate to enhance that particular flavor profile. And that is applied to both the starter and the main, which we would like to see work together as one meal. So, for example, in your dessert, if you choose plums as your main flavor profile, build up to celebrate that plum, and everything on the dessert plate needs to work together to bring out the flavor of the plum. So if you need any assistance or any tips in terms of cooking with a pork loin, with a bacon, you are welcome to email me at my email address, marieta@sapork.com. And for clarity on what you need to do and by when for the competition in terms of submitting recipes, submitting menus, and so on, please read all the documents and read all the emails that you will be receiving from Chania. I wish every one of you huge success and a very satisfactory process in preparing for the cook-off.